Life is a precious gift I love and hold dear, and my art is the best way to express my appreciation for the joy and happiness and wonderful blessings in my life. You use a glass mirror to see your face, and you use works of art to see your soul. George Bernard Shaw. Welcome to Expression in Painting by Paul Cremy. Tonight I brought a photograph of a still life. I've been working on this still life series. I've done 3 on TV, 3 different times. This is the one I'm going to do tonight. I'm going to put it over here and I'm going to talk about the ones I've already painted. I started with this one here, and it's got a nice feeling. It's simple. There's like 5 bases, and they're all different sizes. I have this still life set up in my studio. It's been there for about a year now, and I've done about 200 photographs. And I paint a lot of these from the photographs. This is the second one I did, and we did it on TV with the orange and the blues and the whites. It's quiet, low key. So I've gone through these 2. And then we've done 2 others. Let me put them up. This was the 3rd one I've done on TV. You can see they're getting a little more, there's a lot more going on. Each one seems to get more and more intense. I love the feeling of all of the plays with the different glasses and this is a candle holder, and it's going through this bottle right here. I really love the effect in the colors. It's very difficult to paint glass. A lot of people won't even touch it. And there's some people that paint it absolutely breathtaking. And this is the 4th one. This is the last one. I did this one at the studio. But this one required a lot of time and energy. You can feel the reflection, the light's coming through this window here, and it's reflecting all of these objects on the tabletop. And I think that the whole feeling is kind of really contemporary. That's what I'm looking for in this still life series. I want it to be real, but I don't want it to be photorealism. I want it to be personality. I want you to be able to tell that it's still life from a photograph, but I want it to have some personality. Well, this painting here is long and thin, so I brought this canvas that's really thick and heavy, and it's long and thin, and that's what we're going to start with. So I have the photograph over here, and then we're just going to start painting it. I've got the brushes in the water. So what I'll do is I'll block it in, I'll get it set up, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to start with a little cerulean blue. I'll put this blue in the corner. I'm just going to put this blue on. Then when you're blocking it in, doesn't have to be perfect. All it has to be is blocked in, colored. Get it started. I mean, I know this particular thing's got a blue-green. This might change. I might throw a little green in this. It probably could use a touch of green. So I've got it started. I'm going to go off and run with this now. We got it down. The top of it's white. I'm going to use a smaller brush. I'm going to use a sketchy brush, so I'll use a smaller brush to sketch this whole subject in. That's what I should do. I should probably sketch it in a little so you can see how an artist works. So we've got this white top right here. Right in this corner here, it's real white. So there's the white. And we got this beautiful bottle. We've got this other, let me go take a look here. Great. The top of the vase, line, and then the bottle. Nice. And maybe it's got a different shape than this too. Let me take a good look. Yeah, this is an old hazel, something I used at the beauty parlor back in the 70s. Witch hazel. I don't know what, it's been a long time. I've had this bottle forever. So we got that. We got this other bottle. Let's put this other counter on. Just put a line in. All right, we got these small little things here. Let's put them in. 1, 2. Got this vase here. This one's kind of this is a candle holder. It's one of those beaker candle holders, blown glass. I love it. I have a whole bunch of those things. Something about blown glass that really blows my mind. I love it. We've got an orange in the background. I'm just going to put that orange in. There's orange down here too. That's kind of neat. Let's put that in because there's a lot of dark in here. You're not going to see much of this box. And we got this beautiful white vase here. It goes down like that and then comes over. Got this platform. I love this thing. Somebody gave me this, a friend of mine in my building. It's beautiful. It goes down all the way down to the floor. And my friend Dr. Jones said, do something with all of that background in the background, and I will. Make it softer. So let's take a look. Nice. So we get some yellow, get a bigger brush, start getting a little serious. I'll just take some of this light yellow with white, like a lemon yellow. I'll do this. Give it some substance. This is the dark side. So we'll put a little darker yellow on that side. You know, I'm not trying to copy the photograph. I keep telling people I use a photograph as a stepping stone, and then I go off and do my own thing. And sometimes I do more afterwards than I do while I'm doing the show. That has a black top. You can't see the black top. I'll put it in, and then we'll put a little white spot on it with a light, just to give it that feeling. All right, there's one. And so that's just blocking it in. It's setting it up. And we got this beautiful bottle here that I didn't even put in yet. So let's put that in. Let's make that a little light green. Going to go all the way down with that. This is the kind of a painting that could take you forever to do because there's so many things going on. And I actually think it's in front of the other one, so I'm going to put some of that green right here like this. Nice. And we got these two little white bottles. I mean, these little white cotton holders. They're dentist cotton holders, my dentist friend told me. That's what they're used for. I pick up these things. I see them stuff at different places. People will put them out somewhere, or I'll see them in a yard sale. And I fall in love with them because I like strange, weird objects. Because I always see them as part of a still life. I mean, if you came to my studio and you walked around, you'd see this all set up. And it's been set up for years. I mean, my wife will come in and she'll say, you think you should clean that up a little, Dustin? And no, don't touch it. Get away. That's one of the reasons why I don't have a studio at the house. My wife is the cleanest, neatest person in the world. And I am a slob. It's like The Odd Couple with that Oscar and his friend. She's great. My wife's fantastic. When I had my studio at the house, she was always in cleaning up. I could never find anything. God. That's when I said, I have to get out of the house. It's time I did something out of the house. I'm mixing, I thought this was orange I put out. I might have put out red, I don't know. So I'm mixing an orange color for that orange. I'm going to just throw it on. You see, I'm not worrying about how the orange looks or how the orange doesn't look. I'm just putting color down. I'm really liking the way this is coming out. And you know, this whole thing about painting and how you paint, don't worry about it, just do it. You see, people start worrying about unimportant things when it comes to painting, and the painting never gets done. You know, they criticize themselves in their brains, and they don't do it. It's sad. And every artist goes through this. How you get to be a great artist, you don't listen to your brain. You just paint. Yeah, I always tell people you have to be more like brainless. So we got this big blue spot here, and we got this big black spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect them. I'm going to change this real intense black as I'm going to change the background too. I'm going to soften it up. It's going to work. Because what I have on this canvas is gesso, and it's black, and I want to take that away, and I want to soften it up so you can see stuff, but without seeing it. And it's an illusion. Painting is an illusion. Painting is like magic. You know, you can shoot the most incredible things just by using your brain and hacking the surface. Like the top of this surface is so white, and then this corner has got a little white. It's got a greenish blue. And I'm just blocking it. I'm not trying to finish this. I'm just putting down a base coat. More intense. Enough. So I'll probably go over this 5 or 6 times until I get it where I want it and what I want it to look like. See, when you're the artist, you're in charge. You can do anything you want. Nobody's going to tell you you can't do this or you can't do that. That's what I love about doing what I do. I'm in my studio, I'm working for myself, and I'm doing what I want to do. And there's nobody standing over me telling me you can't do this or you can't do that. Love it. I've worked for people. I've worked really strange jobs in my life. My favorite job in all the years I've done, I love doing hairdressing because I love people, but ever since I was a kid, all I wanted to do was paint. I started painting at 7, and I'm 70, so you figure it out. A long time. All right, so let's do something up here in the corner. Dr. Jones thought it would be too dark if we left it that way, so I want to make it look a little eerie. So you take away the real starkness, soften it up. I also brought my blower. I have to put a little more blue out. 1 second. Good. I probably started with the wrong blue. I just threw it out there. This is a cobalt blue. It may make it come closer to the color that we're supposed to be. Yeah, I think that's a little closer. And you know something? It doesn't matter. You make it the color that you like. If you want to make it whatever color it is, you don't have to follow the photograph. Other thing you should do if you're doing these canvases that are gallery wrapped, paint the sides at the same time. Then you don't have to put a frame on it. It's starting to look closer to the color. Close enough right now anyways. I'm going to go in and put these bottles together if I can. Okay, I've got it blocked in now, so it's starting to have somewhat of a shape. Remember in high school, I did a drawing that I worked on for the whole year when I was in the 11th grade. And it won a gold key, and it won honorable mention in the national show. It was a pencil sketch of bottles. Oh my God. It was probably better than the photograph. And in those days, I never took photographs. I just did it from the subject matter back in the 60s. I had sold it to somebody, and my wife, to this day, still holds a grudge against me because it was her favorite piece. But back when I sold it in 1967, and the person paid me $1,700 for it. And that $1,700 was down payment on my house and a car. That's how much money that was back then. We step back, take a look. Oh my God, it's really starting to take some shape. You know, you don't see anything right now. It's kind of, yeah, but you'll see it, I see it. You know, the thing with me is, when I'm painting something like this, I see it finished and I'm just going towards it. And that's the way you have to look at art. You see it finished and you go towards it. And it doesn't make sense to you, but if you have that kind of attitude, it's like Ted Williams used to say, he saw the ball and he saw it going over the fence. Well, Brady, he sees the football and he knows it's going to get there, and he throws it to that spot because he's visualizing it in his mind. The painting's the same way. You look at it, you see it, and you go do it. And you don't listen to your mind. Your mind is saying, oh my God, you're going to make a mess. It's not going to work. You're going to screw it up. Oh yeah, all of that stuff is going on. We're getting there. There we go. Let me see. These eclipses or flying saucers or whatever you want to call them, they could drive you crazy trying to figure them out. I don't try to figure them out, I just paint them. And I hope they come out. Sometimes they come out, sometimes they don't. Either way, I just do it. And I live with it. And people say, you know, that's not right. I say, okay, who cares? This is my way of seeing it. You see it a different way? Okay. You go paint it. I'm going to work on the orange a little. It's a little darker. Let's give it something over here too. So. And that's all you do. You just keep on applying the paints, like I always say when I keep saying it over and over and over again. Look at the photograph if you want, and then apply the paint. It don't have to be perfect. It's your interpretation. And I like that myself. I don't want photorealism. I can do photorealism. I did a course at the museum school on technical painting, and that was photorealism. And God, you spent forever doing it. Drive you nuts. I like to just paint. I don't want to spend my whole life trying to make it a perfect painting. A perfect painting's not what I'm looking for. I must have a Japanese mentality because they don't believe in a perfect painting either. They believe everything, the only thing that's perfect is God, and they always have an imperfection in what they're doing. And I know there's an imperfection here and there in what I do, but that's okay. I can live with that. It doesn't bother me one bit. It doesn't bother me when somebody criticizes it either. I said, that's your opinion. It took me years and years to figure that out. That somebody else's opinion shouldn't affect you. That's the way they think. So we're getting the sketch down. So I have this cream white, and then I'm putting white with it to do this tower thing. I'm blocking it in. I'm not doing any details. So see how simple painting is? It's just applying the paint. You've sketched it out roughly, and you just go apply the paint on top of the sketch. And you just keep doing this until you get to a point where, hey, it's going to work. There's a little blue dash on this. I don't know why. I don't know where that blue is coming from, but there's blue up here. There's all kinds of stuff going on these things. Whatever. I love it. Sometimes when you think it's transparent, in order to get it transparent, you have to give it some color. And you go over it and over it and over it, and then it gets transparent. So you block it in, and then you make it transparent by going over it and over it. I hope the Sox are winning. I never thought that when we booked this show that we'd be in the middle of a Sox game. But that game last night, Lackey, oh my God, I couldn't believe the game he pitched. Absolutely fabulous. I went to a game Lackey pitched against, and it was against San Diego a couple of years ago before he got his operation. And it was torture. It was pouring, it was miserable, and he was giving up everything. They were hitting everything he threw at them. But I didn't realize that he had a sore arm. They never tell you anything. So, but that game, oh, was torture. And I had my, at the time, 10-year-old grandson with me. And he didn't want to leave. I wanted to leave as soon as I got there when I found out Lackey was pitching. He redeemed himself last night. This is the year for the Red Sox to redeem themselves. Especially after last year. Crazy year. So what you do is you go from one place to the next until you get what you want. And this one here is in the background, so it's not as white. So I add a touch of black and I tone it down so it's in the background. Just keep doing it until it's completely in the background. This side is out of the light, so we're going to make it out of the light. All right, let me take a look. I brought my reducing glass. It's the opposite of a magnifying glass, and it pushes. I've dropped it a couple of times, so it's broken. I know that circle is not right. I'm going to fix that before I even look. I just threw it on there like that. So let's see if we can fix it. It's almost like a donut. And this is not the way it's going to look when it's done, but it's the way it looks now. Let me step back with my reducing mirror. Yeah, this is starting to shape up. I'm liking it, getting there, hussing around. So you go bit by bit, inch by inch, and you just keep going over the same thing, over and over. and the glass starts to show up. I'm putting a little blue in this because I want it to be a contrast against the orange, and it gives me a nice friction. See, the opposite of orange is blue, and there's always tension when you have orange and blue together, and it vibrates, and it gives you this really nice quality in a painting. You're in charge. You can play with it. It's up to you. You're the one that's in charge, not the subject matter. It's something you've picked, and you're the one that's going to do it. So have fun. Another thing you can do, as you go further along in this, you could always outline the pieces with black. I think I did it in these other paintings. I'm liking this. This is starting to take a shape. I'm really feeling comfortable with it. This has got to be a little bigger. It's got to go back a little. I'm looking at the photograph. It's got a side that goes back to here, comes forward, and this is darker. So we put a little black in with it, make it a little darker. Then we put this movement in. Pick up some more paint, make it a little wilder. Oh, there's some stuff in the background that you can't see. It's very, I'm looking at it now and I'm seeing another one of these back here. So I'm gonna hoss around and do something rather than keep it just plain black right there. Doctor's right. Make it have some personality back there. Too much personality. So this is what painting is all about. You just keep doing stuff. And eventually when you do it, it starts to make sense. You're in charge. Not the subject matter. Never the subject matter. You're the artist. Whew. Need to take a break, sit down for a second, look. I think the donut doesn't quite make it yet, but the glass behind the donut's kind of funky, and that square thing is kind of funky, and the yellow vase is definitely funky. But I'm liking the shape of this. I'm liking the feeling of it. And I love the color of the box. I just got to make it a little lighter. I think I got there, but I didn't make it quite light enough. So let's go back and we'll make it a little lighter. I said lighter. Getting there. painting like this and these still lifes probably takes 14 to 17 hours. So, and I do this show in an hour. So what you're seeing here is a sketch. Then I go back and I do all the fine tuning, like tuning a piano. And I make it look effortlessly, I make it look easy. That's because I've been doing this for like 63 years. Don't get frustrated with yourself. Don't get frustrated with yourself if it doesn't seem to come to you right away. Just keep working it. And the worst thing you can do is start over again. Paint the canvas black, start again. Some of my earlier paintings, they must have 4 or 5 paintings on them. I didn't always stand in front of a canvas and paint like this. I used to struggle so much, I'd be cursing and swearing, actually throw the canvas out the door, out the window, whatever. But the older I get, the more patient I am with myself. And I stopped listening to that little inner voice telling me, what the hell are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. What's the matter with you? And that goes on every time you do a painting. I don't care if you've been painting for 100 years. I can see my friend Michelangelo laying on his back saying, did I put that in the right place? And he had all that stuff falling in his face for 7 or 8 years, however long it took. And a lot of people don't realize he was in his 80s when he started the Sistine Chapel. Okay, back to having fun. I definitely want this vase to be lighter and brighter. I want the vase to knock you over, take you for a ride. There we go. We're getting there now. Getting there. If I just finish this one vase tonight, I'll be thrilled. I love this vase. I think it's great. It really makes this whole painting sing. And paintings do have a song. Step back a little. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. See, I'm starting to act like I know what I'm doing, hopefully. And you just do it. as dark as that is, see, this still has a fairly nice highlight back there. So I'm going to pull that out a little, and I'm going to lighten this up a little. And this is why you paint. You keep looking. You learn to look. See, I'm teaching you how to paint, but you know something? In the essence of what I'm doing is I'm teaching you how to see. This is how I see. I look at the subject matter and I keep going back and forth, back and forth. I keep going over and over and over. And all of a sudden, it starts to make sense. Hopefully, it works, and it always does work. Because I have the patience to believe in myself, and that's the key. Just be patient with yourself. You're in charge. I'm going to try to do the cap. Nice, 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 nice. Same with this. Well, we're at the high school in Hanover, and Colleen's in charge here, and she does a magnificent job. And we have my friend Dr. Jones and my friend Ted Bennett. We've got these great people working with me, and I can do this. You know, I've been doing these talk shows the last couple of shows, and I haven't been painting paintings. But I felt like that, you know, to explain is a very important thing in art. Because most people, they don't understand art. They don't have art in their house. I think they don't have art in their house because they don't realize, or they don't know how important art is to them. They take everything for granted in this country, and yet art is the source of all that we are. I believe in art. I believe it sets people free, helps people see, gives them joy. Everything that you live, everything that goes on around you is done by an artist. Everything. Every object that you pick up has been drawn or painted by an artist. We as Americans, we take everything so much for granted. Europeans appreciate art a little more, a lot more. I see that on Facebook. I saw it in Italy when I was in Italy. Oh, God. If you have a chance, go to Italy. Magnificent. So I'm fooling around with the highlights now. I'm dabbing here and poking there. I'm not going to do in here the finished details. All I'm doing is setting this up for tomorrow when I go to the studio. And the way this is starting to come out, I can't wait to get to the studio. When I get like this, I'll get up 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and I'll shave and I'll take a shower and I'll go to the studio. Because this painting starts to possess me in the sense that I want to see where it's going to go, what's going to happen with it. And I'm still feel that way at 70. I felt that way at 7. And I didn't know what I was doing at 7. I don't know what I was doing at 50, I don't think. I think that I love what Michelangelo wrote in his diary. I'm still learning, and he was 83 years old. And I like Van Gogh. I go to bed and I dream dreams, and I paint paintings. And I think every artist does that in some shape or form. Because painting is a dream. It's an extension of your inner soul. You get up there and you put this paint on the canvas and it comes to life, and you start to say, wow, look at the way that's starting to show up. And that all of a sudden you've got a painting. I have a studio in Rockland in the E.T. Wright building, and you can come over anytime. I'm there 7 days a week. It's open to the world. We have a big, huge show the week before Thanksgiving, and there's 70 artists in the building, and there's another 10 or 15 artists in the sandpaper factory. And we've been doing this for like 24 years now. It's beautiful. Nice experience. You'll really enjoy it if you come. But you can come to my studio any day, because I'm that age now where I don't have to do anything but paint, and don't worry, I'm experiencing it. I told my son, if you find me and I'm gone, at least I've done what I wanted to do. I was in my studio painting. I knew a friend of mine, he was 97, he was a leaded glass man, Irving McClare, and I had a bunch of his windows, and he said, I want you to come in and find me over my table, Paul. And that would be the best day of my life, because I've done what I wanted to do my whole life. His father was 98 when he passed, and Irving was 96 or 97 or somewhere in that vicinity. And he did gorgeous work. All right. I'm going to dry this a little, and then I'm going to stop and talk about it. It's nowhere near done. I'll bring it back when it's done. But I picked up, and I've got this photograph. This is the photograph. This is the painting. I don't think we've got too far away from the photograph, considering that it's only been an hour. But see, there's so much substance in all of this, and all of that substance will be in the painting. This is just a step of many steps. I'd say this is about 1/10 of the way done. So there's still 90% to do, but in order to get to that 90%, you have to do this 10%. You have to set it up. You have to look at it, sit in your chair, study it, because painting is not just painting. It's looking, it's studying, it's understanding it, it's getting the proportions right, it's getting these figures in the right spot, or the objects. They could be figures, they could be anything. And you can find this stuff around your house. I think the best way to start art is to start sketching. Look at your house, walk around, find something you love. Everybody has objects that they cherish. Get a pad of paper and a couple of pencils, look at that cherished object, start sketching it. I have a daughter that's a very successful children's book illustrator, Ellen Creamy Trent. She's fabulous. In fact, there are books coming out at Barnes & Noble on schoolies. And she's done a whole series of 6 books from Macmillan and Macmillan, and they're fabulous. They have flashcards that teach them how to do math, and then there's teach them how to tell time. And she started sketching at 7 years old. And we had a party one time with all of her girlfriends, and they were all doing cut-out dolls, and Ellen says, I don't do that. I do my own sketch, and then I rip out fabrics and designs from magazines. So in all of us, art is in all of us. All we have to do is do it. God bless and good night.